This is a walnut secretaire campaign chest, around about 1860 in date. And it's a model that we've had maybe 4 or 5 times before. Quite distinctive in that it has this raised moulding around each of the drawer fronts, and it's got quite a distinctive turned foot. And these are characteristics we've seen on this model before. It's what makes them stand out. And it's made with figured walnut veneers to the drawer fronts, straight grain walnut to the top and the sides. You don't want veneer on the top and sides because it's going to be sliding in and out of a packing case and it'll get damaged. And this raised moulding to the front, apart from just lifting the aesthetic of it a little bit, it also has a job to do, and that is to give a nice, clean, protective edge to the veneer. If this was just veneer without the moulding, it might be easier to chip it off the edges as you're sliding the drawer in and out, and it's more likely that it'll get damaged. So the moulding's got a twofold job. It elevates it a little bit in its design and its look, but also it just helps protect the edges of the figured walnut veneer. Now, it's a secretaire drawer, as I said, so as is fairly typical, the wider middle drawer is the secretaire. You've got 2 push buttons here which you release, and then you've got your leather writing surface with a gilt tooled edge, and it retains its internal board, and this board is to stop the drawers behind it from moving around during travel, spilling all of your contents. You wouldn't want to open the chest and all of your papers are scattered all over the place and you've got a mess to tidy up before you can get on with your work. And in most cases on secretaire chests that had these boards are missing. And you can understand why. They're taken out, they're put somewhere else, safe for later, then they depart company with the chest and the next generation doesn't really know which piece of furniture it belongs to or what it's for even. So with that gone, we can see that we've got 2 pigeonholes either side of 2 short drawers and 1 long drawer. These are faced in bird's eye maple veneer, and you've got ebonized knobs here, and ebonized reeding in between just to separate them. And on the long drawer, we've got a space to put an inkwell, and we've also got a little lidded compartment where you might put pens. Now, we would say that this is an English design of chest, typically English in design, but it does have a very interesting secret to it, or story to tell, this chest. And that is revealed by this drawer. Now, with any piece of furniture, it's always a good idea to have a look underneath the drawers, behind the drawers, on the dustboards, because every now and again you get lucky and there'll be a little bit of evidence there which really just lifts the item. And that, of course, is the case with this piece, because underneath, if I come in, hopefully you can see that that has got a name which we can't quite read. It looks like it might be SF, and then a surname beginning with a G and ending in an E. But the bits that we can read are Malta 1860. Now, that's very interesting information. Firstly, the date, of course, is always nice to know. We can set this chest as being made at least by 1860. And that mark was probably put there by a cabinet maker. It's fairly typical of cabinet makers to leave their own mark on a piece of furniture in pencil like that. But we don't know if this chest was made in Malta in 1860 by this guy who left his mark, or restored. That's the question, and it might be a question that we can never get the answer to. And the reason that we think it may have possibly been restored by this guy is, firstly, of course, it's a typical English chest. Now, yes, Maltese cabinet makers were heavily influenced by British design, and there were an awful lot of British soldiers in Malta. In 1860, I think there was just over 7,000 British troops in Malta, and there was also the local Royal Malta Fencible Regiment. So you can imagine there would have been a lot of demand for campaign furniture there. But of course, a number of officers would have brought their own campaign furniture with them. Now, it's possible that this cabinet maker who left his mark restored the piece. And the reason that I say that is because if we look at the side here, you can see that this section and this section are replacement boards. Now, they've become damaged at some stage and replaced. We can see a little bit of old woodworm damage here, not so much on the bottom. Possibly the chest got damaged on the way to Malta. Perhaps it was dropped when it was being unloaded or something, fell out of its packing case. Who knows? Perhaps it was woodworm damage that got too much, and so they thought, right, we'll sort this out early, and they replaced the boards. And on the other side, there is one board here, or part board here, which also looks like it's been replaced. The walnut is just a slightly different type of walnut. So, did this Maltese cabinet maker restore the chest, or did he make it from scratch? We don't know. But of course, Malta was very important for the British. In the Crimean War, it was a staging post to take troops to the Crimea, but also to take supplies and resupply them. But also, it was very important as a hospital for troops coming back from the Crimea to recover. And then, of course, in 1869, when the Suez Canal opened, it became even more important, and a lot of ships would stop at Malta en route to go to India via the Suez Canal to load up with coal for their onward journey in the age of steamships. So we can date this chest to at least 1860, perhaps a little bit earlier. It's a typical design of a walnut secretaire chest, as I said, with the feet which are quite distinctive and this moulding edge which just lifts it all a little bit and sets it off nicely. And of course, back in the day, and still today, walnut chests were the most desirable that you could get. They cost more when they were first made, because this figured walnut to the front really does lift it and make it stand out, and people still appreciate that today. So a super chest, but really elevated just by that simple pencil inscription hidden underneath one of the secretaire drawers. So if you've got antique furniture, maybe try and find the time just to have a look underneath all of the drawers and on the dustboards to see if there's a pencil inscription there which might just give you some clues as to the origin of your piece.